Well, by now, most people are aware that the pharmaceutical industry has long been a cesspool of corruption, money changers, quid pro quo, fraud, violations of anti-kickback statutes, generally speaking, a RICO bonanza. But what you may not know is the reason, the whys, the hows of how they've gotten away with it. Any industry or company that continues to do business as usual, conducting itself in the same way over and over with the same violations, committing those same violations after being investigated, prosecuted, and fined, is technically getting away with it. So I want to walk you through a violation tracker by industry on a website called Good Jobs First. Credit to them. Under the pharmaceutical categories, there are penalty totals. Let's bring up my picture number 1, shows you what they've put together here. And so here, they're looking at penalty totals since 2000. Let me repeat, 2000. $96 billion over 1,000 records, 1,000 infractions. These companies have paid $96 billion. This website describes the totals as including only those entities matched to a parent company. The industry designation is the primary one for the parent operations overall. No wonder the DoD has so much, the government has so much money to kill us, to develop these things, and to do everything else they damn well please. Now, let's take a look at the top 10. This is and should blow your mind. Okay. Let me bring up my... When you're looking at the top 10, what's really interesting here is you're looking at Johnson & Johnson. Total penalties since 2000, $15 billion. Guys, $15 billion. Just write a check. Over 71 infractions. Okay? Merck, of course, $10 billion. 81 times offense. Pfizer, our old friend, $10 billion. 90 crimes. Over 90 crimes. They've paid $10 billion. Purdue Pharma, $9 billion. Over 10 infractions. GlaxoSmithKline, almost $9 billion. Over 39 crimes. Teva, pharmaceutical industries, an Israeli company, almost $8.5 billion, over 71 crimes. AbbVie, God, I interviewed with that company and I really wanted the job years ago, and I'm so glad they didn't hire me they hired other people. You know, thank God for unanswered prayers. Almost $6 billion over 50 crimes. Takeda Pharmaceutical, almost $4 billion, 25 crimes. Eli Lilly, almost $3 billion, 26 crimes. And then Endo International, $2.7 billion over 27 crimes. I mean, guys, come on. Let's move to picture number 2. My picture number 2 here. It's an individual penalty tracker. This is an individual penalty tracker. It's penalty tracker number 1 for my producer. This particular list allows us to see which companies have paid the most. Okay? So hold on here. Purdue, they had the big scandal with the, the opioid drugs. Penalty amount, $8.3 billion. Fraud. But here's another thing I want you to look at as we scroll down. Let's make sure we get, if you can, scroll down all columns, because you'll see that, or maybe we could start with current parent if you can't get it all in. The primary offense type. Let me just, you don't have to, you can look this up yourself, but let's take a look. Okay. Off-label or unapproved promotion of medical products. I told you it's not illegal for a doctor or nurse practitioner to write off-label. It is against the law for companies to promote their product for something other than what it was approved for, which is the definition of off-label. So to say that ivermectin and HCQ were off-label, that's fine. The companies can't promote it, but doctors and nurse practitioners should have been free. That told me a lot in the beginning. That told me that something very dangerous was going on. So off-label promotion, safety violations. And look at the off-label, tax violations, product safety, consumer protection violation, fraud. What does this teach you? Right? This teaches you that it's not just Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, J&J, or any of the other companies like Novavax, Sputnik, whatever, that are readily connected to the bioweapon shot. The entire industry, and I want you to have this visual, is full of pus, poison, scum, and filth. So here are some of the highest paid fines or penalties since 2000. In picture number 2, what I want to jump to is, because you get the idea. Let's look at picture 3, which is my individual penalty tracker 2. Again, you see the same companies over and over and over again. Pfizer, Endo, Glaxo. You see some new ones come in. Again, Pfizer, Merck, Behringer, Amgen, Allergan. And it goes on and on and on. Look at the crimes. False Claims Act. Oh, our drug does X, Y, and Z. Drug or medical equipment safety violation. Again, False Claims Act. Remember when Albert Bourla, let me talk to you about false claims. Remember when Albert Bourla said, oh, Paxlovid, my dangerous drug that has ritonavir in it, which is a black box warning, can kill people when it's mixed with other drugs? Nirmatrelvir and ritonavir. They just resurrected it into Paxlovid. Remember when Albert Bourla said, hey, if you're still sick, just take another round of it. That's false claims that a second round will do the job, okay? Not to mention his off-label promotion. Again, false claims, off-label. These are the ways that these companies commit fraud, anti-kickback, illegal quid pro quo, okay? So it shows you how extensive the problem is and how repeat offense is not a deterrent. Repeat fines are not a deterrent. What's going to deter these companies? You stop them from being able to practice anymore. You take their assets away from them if you weren't all bought and paid for in Congress. The whole purpose of showing you this and highlighting these numbers and rankings is to confirm for you the stench of this industry that's front and center in the mass genocide operation. If you work in these companies, it's my personal feeling that you should get out as soon as possible. Well, but I have bonuses coming and, I have stock options. You're complicit in crimes against humanity. And you know what? I don't care if you're the janitor or the chief executive officer or anything in between. You're now aware of the criminal nature of the industry. And the other main point I want to make is that punishing them with fines is meaningless, as you can see with the repeat offenses. I want to tell you a little story really quick before we jump to my last topic in this segment. I spent 20 years in the pharmaceutical industry. And in one of my companies, very small company, I literally reported to the chief medical officer. And we got to be really good friends. And because it was a small company, the level of work I was doing with regard to research and doing health economics and developing, great studies. We came under an investigation by the DOJ. In fact, that company was raided, like SWAT style. I wasn't there that day. I was traveling for work. And anyway, later learned about the raid and everything. But anyway, the company went through like a 6-7 year DOJ investigation. I started to see, from learning from talking to the lawyers in the company, that what is happening is that you can get fined up to 10% of your gross revenues. So I, at the time, still believing in my company to some degree, said to the chief medical officer, hey, we could be fined like, $1 billion. I mean, what's going to happen to the company? Like, what's that about? Is that fair? And his response to me, and it was the second to last company I ever worked for, and then I got out. But his response to me told me everything. He said, Jane, we budget for those things. You budget for your criminal fines? Wow. In retrospect, putting a lot of those things together, it just is almost unbelievable. And that's when I knew, man, I've got to get out of this company. And then eventually worked for, right after, a small company, really small. So I thought, well, maybe the corruption will be less or non-existent. But what happened was, it was 2020. And then they started rolling out the shots at the end of that year and the beginning of 21. And I saw the handwriting on the wall and I got out. So anyway, just goes to show you. Wow. Incredible. So let's switch to a more fun topic. I want to close out this segment by sharing some of the fun moments from the Reawaken America tour in Nashville, in the Nashville area, Juliet, Tennessee. I'm always proud to be part of it. And as I've told those who have criticisms of the event, Jesus had to go inside the temple to throw out the bums and educate people on their behaviors, not stand outside like some little self-righteous big shot calling people names. So I'm proud to go there. I'm proud to meet good, Americans, God-fearing, loving people that watch the show, that support the show. I love the opportunity to be with them. And I love the opportunity, because this thing is live streamed all over the world. I love having the opportunity to share important information with them. I was able to share great stories. I did a year in review. Great stories about how I broke, some of the big stories of the year, especially the white fibrous clots that the embalmers were finding and pulling out of cadavers all over the world. A lot of people are now know me for that. That show, which was one of my first Dr.Jane Ruby shows, has garnered over 3 million views. Take a listen to a short clip from my speech. And thank you, Elena, who sent me this cup from New Jersey. But I want to read to you, in my closing, I want to read to you some of his words, because I think he would want you to hear this tonight. I want and I feel the need to reassure everyone that we're winning. It may not seem like it, because the enemy is a cornered animal right now. They know that they're going to be exposed or are being exposed right now, and they have blood on their hands, and they will do everything in their power to attempt to conceal and obfuscate. All right? And it's a matter of self-instinct preservation. Be very steadfast in your will and your resolve. Keep pressing for the truth, meaning this pandemic is over, but there's another pandemic that's not over, and that's a pandemic of falsehood, of lies, of false hysteria, of mass panic, and artificially suppressed economies, and the pandemics of suicide, child abuse, spousal abuse, collateral damage of people's health that otherwise would have been treated for normal routine things. My strong wishes for you are to be optimistic, keep an open, happy frame of mind, and we will win. God bless you all. Thanks for staying so long tonight. I'm so glad I got a chance to. Now, if you want to see the entire speech, please go to my Rumble channel at rumble.com/Dr. Jane Ruby. You can watch the entire speech at your leisure. It's about 10 to 15 minutes long. Don't forget to subscribe while you're over there, because we're building a medical information community. I'll have the coffee chats, the after talk. We already have a couple of those, the After Talk, which is a new part of the show, and all of these extra special things like my speech. When I return, I'll have some parting words, so stay with me.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and in light of the recent events, your continued support means everything to myself and my employees. To thank you, we're having the biggest sale ever on all MyPillow bedding. Get MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $29.98, a set of pillowcases for only $9.98. In this economy, instead of buying a new bed, rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. We also have blankets in a variety of sizes, colors, and styles, like plush, waffle, or gossamer, for as low as $29.98. We even have pet blankets from small size to the ones for your car. Get huge discounts on duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code and you'll get huge discounts on all MyPillow bedding, including MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $29.98. Get all your shopping in while quantities last. Please order now.
According to Dr. Mark Rosenberg, physician and Army vet, the immune system doesn't just keep us healthy and safe. It's literally the master switch for our energy, our clarity, and mobility. So if you're feeling tired, achy, or worn down, there's a good chance that your immune system needs support. Immunity has been the perfect backdoor for trying to take away our freedoms. But now, Dr. Rosenberg's #1 suggestion for supporting your immunity this winter and all the time is BioShield MD with 7 potent flavonoids to deliver targeted immune support by boosting your natural energy levels, improving your mental clarity and mood, and help you experience real joint comfort. Click on the link or go to biomd.info/Jane to check it out now.